where did you?
Guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Venetia Alexander Marshall. Welcome. For those of you that are new to my channel, welcome as well. And don't forget, hit the subscribe button at the bottom and make sure you're clicking the bell so when I'm uploading on YouTube, you are notified. It's been a little minute since the last time I did a chit chat get ready with me, but we're fixing to do a chit chat get ready with me. It is Tuesday. It is election day. By the time this video goes up, we're pretty much going to know what the end result is going to be after election day. So exercise your right to vote. I'm just going to say, exercise your right to vote. So I got up very early this morning. Our polls here in Louisiana open at 6 o'clock. I got there at 6:30. So I went ahead and got my voting out the way very early this morning. Came back with my coffee from Starbucks. And then I chilled out until I took my daughter to work and she colored my hair. So you see, I got my hair colored. But I'm going to tell y'all about a product first before we get started with this chit chat get ready with me. But yeah, we have a lot to talk about. A lot of things have happened that y'all did not know anything about. Plus, after this video, I have some errands to run. One of them is my nails. Yeah, this nail broke. Got to get it fixed. But I have a couple of things I do need to take care of today on this election day. And then I'm coming home, going to cook, and I'm going to relax and watch the election returns come in. And that's pretty much about it, what I'm going to be doing today. So let's get started with this chit chat get ready with me. Handy dandy mirror with me. So yeah, let's go ahead, let's talk, let's catch up, whatever. But yeah, I got my hair colored. My daughter colored my hair this morning because I needed a color. But before I put the color, before she did my hair, if you're looking for a product to try to extend your color, if you have color in your hair and it's not time, you're not ready to get that color, you know, refreshed or anything like that, but you're looking for something to refresh your color, try this product. I was sent this in PR. This is from Evemore. So I'm going to thank them for sending this to me. I used this color to refresh my color. What it is, it's a shampoo. And it is the color of whatever your hair color is. It comes in several different colors. I did put this on my head before my daughter colored my hair. And let me tell you, this stuff lasted. It lasted. I'm going to say this again. This stuff lasted. I was so shocked. This is the fuchsia color that I have. It is a shampoo. What it is and what you do is you take this and you shampoo your hair just like you would shampoo your hair like you normally do. The only difference is it is the color that you're trying to refresh your hair with. And then once you shampoo it, you let it sit in your hair for about 5 minutes. Once you let it sit in your hair for about 5 minutes, then you rinse it out. What I like is it didn't stain my sink. It didn't stain anything. And you know, usually when you get your hair color, you put hair color in your hands get like the color of the dye. This didn't do that. Matter of fact, it conditioned my hair. My hair was pretty soft. And when I did condition my hair, nothing came out. Nothing stripped or anything like that, and it looked like I had a fresh color on my head. So I really did like that. I'm sorry I didn't take any pictures before she colored my hair, but this really lasted. And I ended up doing twists in my hair before I've straightened it. I've now did an at-home silk press. I took my hair out and my daughter blow dried it at the shop before I came home and silked it out. But yeah, if you're looking to refresh your color but you're not ready for the color yet, try this product out. They are on Amazon, so I will put a link for you guys in the bottom of the description box for you to check this out. Again, it comes in several different colors. I got the fuchsia color because I keep my hair pretty red right now. It's like red orange is what's going on right now, so it's a little bit of a different color, but this is really good. So I'm going to put a link for you guys in the bottom of the description box so you can check them out. I might get another one of these. I'm gonna be honest, I might get another one. I'm gonna get another one of these. So check this out. This is very good. Let's get into this chit chat get ready with me. I'm not gonna do a whole lot of makeup because of the errands I am running today. So this is more of going to be a no foundation makeup look, but I'm excited because most of the products I'm going to be using is from Makeup Revolution, and particularly the new collab with the Plastic Boy and Makeup Revolution. I am going to be using some of his products. If you're not familiar with the Plastic Boy, he is an influencer here on YouTube. I also see him on TikTok. He is an influencer that is from the UK. I have actually been following him for a couple of years. I didn't discover his channel until the pandemic when I was home recovering from COVID-19 myself. That's when I discovered his channel because I'm isolated from everybody. When I had COVID, while everybody was living their best life, I was stuck in a room for a couple weeks. I couldn't come out, anything like that. So I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos while struggling to breathe, and I happened among the Plastic Boy's channel. And I have been watching his channel ever since. And if you're familiar with him and you've watched his Sippin' Slays, yes, honey, he is coming direct with the Sippin' Slays. So I have been watching his channel for the last couple of years. And when I found out he did a collab with Makeup Revolution, I hurried up and picked up the products. He had 4 products, but I was only able to get 3 of them because one of the products sold out very fast. So I was like, man, I was a little bummed out, but it's okay. It's okay. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to do this makeup look. But yes, I'm going to show you the products that is part of his collab. So check out Makeup Revolution and the Plastic Boys collab. And his products are very melanin skin approved. It is definitely for us melanated people. So thank you, the Plastic Boy, for doing this collab with Makeup Revolution. And of course, if you're familiar with Makeup Revolution, their products are very, very affordable. You can find them on the drugstore side of Ulta, and some of their products you can find at Target. So you can pick up some of their products at Target, but for his collab, it is not at Target or it's not at Ulta. You have to go online and purchase these products. But again, the products are very, very affordable, very affordable. So I'm rambling on. Let's go ahead and let's get started. I am going to go ahead and start with primer. He had a primer. That is the only product I was not able to get was the primer. The primer is completely sold out. I couldn't get it. So I am going in with the Milani No Pore Zone primer. I'm going to go in with that. Foundation. I'm not actually going to be using a foundation. I'm actually going to be using a concealer. And this is a product I use quite a bit for one of those no foundation makeup looks. So this is, we're, Lord. This is from Makeup Revolution. This is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Infinite Concealer. I am going to go in with this. This is what I use, again, when I don't want to put on a foundation, but it's a quick makeup look. I'm not sure what the shade number is. I'm really not sure what it is. And if I saw the shade number, you know I can't see it because I don't have my glasses on. And you know with Makeup Revolution, you got to pretty much you pretty much have to guess with their foundation shades because a lot of their foundation shades are like sporadic. But this seems to work on the times, again, when I don't want to wear foundation. Something got stuck in my throat and I'm trying to get it out, so that's why I'm sounding like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. I do travel with this on the days I don't want to wear foundation, or if it's just something simple or we're having like a fun day, but I don't want to cake my face up with a bunch of foundation or anything like that. I will go in with this or a tinted moisturizer, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this on that I do tend to use as a foundation. I'm also gonna try and hide this because my daughter stained my forehead with the color. I'm gonna see if I can try to hide some of this. Blend this in. Let's talk. It's been a minute since I talked. A lot of things have really happened and a lot of things have changed. And a lot of it has to do with my business. So let me tell you guys what's going on. If you follow me on TikTok, I have 2 TikTok pages. One is for Vam Cosmetics. The other is my new page that's linked to as part of my other YouTube channel that I have, that I do mainly just makeup looks on that channel. What has happened, if you follow me on that TikTok, I had made an announcement on that TikTok that that day was my last day at my flea market booth. So if you've been following me for a long time, you know I've been at the flea market for the last 5 years. I was there. It started off with me just doing jewelry, and then I expanded from jewelry into my cosmetics line, Fam Cosmetics. But the cosmetics line was already in the works when I started the jewelry, because it takes a long time to do makeup and to know what you want and so forth and so forth, and me going back and forth with my manager and everything like that, with the lab and so forth. So I debuted my makeup at the flea market, and I started off with lipsticks. I had satin lipsticks, which are the shades that are now in my creamy matte liquid lipstick shades, which is dark chocolate and chocolate cream. And I discontinued those satin lipsticks, sold them out, and transferred them into the matte lipsticks, liquid lipsticks rather, that are my best sellers. They are my best sellers. Dark chocolate and chocolate cream are my 2 best sellers. And in the midst of all that, I do pop-up shops and so forth. And I have my website. I always leave my website in the bottom of the description box and so forth. So if you've supported Vam Cosmetics over the years, thank you so much. Vam Cosmetics is still going, so I don't want to scare anybody with that. Vam Cosmetics is still going on. It's still running. However, I left the flea market. I have not been at the flea market now for 3 weeks. I haven't been out there in about 3 weeks. For almost a month, I have not been out there. What happened was, for years, I would always be at the flea market on a Saturday. I always did Saturday flea market. Or if I wasn't at the flea market, it's because I may have done a pop-up shop. But I always like to save my Sundays for church. Or from time to time after church, and I get ready for a pop-up shop. There have been a couple of Sundays I've gone to church, and then after church, I go to the flea market. That was fine when it was with the other people that was running the flea market. It was no issue at all. But when they changed management, I got a new person to run the flea market, I kind of knew things was getting ready to change. And it was going to change in not a very good way. And I kind of knew that. And then when they got rid of the people that was running the office, and I mean, they've been out there for years, got rid of them. I knew then, uh-oh, that don't sound good. And they got rid of them right after I came back from having COVID. Because the flea market was shut down for a while when we was in the shutdown. And I did have COVID. And even when I bounced back from having COVID, the flea market was still shut down. So when I did come back, they welcomed me back. And it wasn't too long after I came back. I want to say maybe 2 weeks later, the ladies were gone. But they kept one and then hired somebody else. And I went, what in the world is going on? And some of the vendors out there, the longtime vendors, started to see a shift. They started to see a shift. And I was pretty much being a little vigilant, and I was keeping my eye on things to see what was going to happen, what was going on, and so forth. So I kind of kept my eye on what happened. I'm going to go ahead and set my face. I'm going to go in with my Fenty Beauty setting powder in Nutmeg. So I am going to go in with that. Anyway, yeah, I noticed a change out there. And when they got rid of the ladies in the office, I kind of went, uh-oh. I'll be a little vigilant. Really pay attention to what's going on. So, I mean, I didn't notice anything. I mean, everything was going fine. So I thought was going fine. until all of a sudden people that were cleaning the flea market, they all got fired. And again, there was a couple, they were cleaning the flea market. It started off in the kitchen, one of the guys, and then they started cleaning the flea market and so forth. And all of a sudden, they got fired. Talking about they were a liability because they were older people. They were a liability to the flea market. You gotta go. We're fired. Then the people that had been running the kitchen, they let the whole kitchen go. We need, you know, someone in the kitchen that, number one, is supposed to be in the kitchen, which at the time I understood. It's like, okay, well, if you're not, you know, don't have your licenses and so forth with the city and with the state, then I understood. I didn't realize it was a catch. I honestly did not know there was a catch. Didn't know. So initially I thought, oh, okay, well, if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, okay, I can understand why they're gone. She's trying to clean up the flea market. She's trying to make sure that, you know, nobody gets in trouble or anything like that. So I initially thought, okay, well, you know, no big deal. Why people are making such a big deal? I'll go in with bronzer. So for bronzer, I am going in with the Makeup Revolution Glow Bronzer. You remember how popular these were? These were so super popular. I have the medium shade. So I'm going to go in with the medium shade. So anyway, I initially thought it was no big deal or anything like that. If they don't have what they're supposed to have, then yeah, you need to be gone. My first sign that something wasn't right was when next to my booth was a taco truck. He had been there a long time. He'd been there a very long time. He was there when I got there. That's how long he'd been there. He was like, hi, my friend, how are you? Da 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 da. Very, there, you know, Latino. You'll get a taco today, my friend. Da 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 da. No, I'm not gonna get a taco today. Or, you know, you want your 2 tacos? If I did get tacos, you want your 2 tacos? Yeah, I'm gonna get that. But whatever. Well, one day, one of the vendors came to me and said, you know, the man with the taco truck, he's leaving the flea market. What you mean he leaving the flea market? What you talking about? He said, yeah, he got into it with the people in the office and he's leaving. We don't know when he's leaving, but he's leaving. I went, wow. Why would he leave? He's been there a long time. Which, okay, so now I know why he left. Same reason why I left. But at the time, I was like, why is he leaving? He been here a long time. He has very good tacos. His food was bomb. Let me tell y'all. I'm not really 100% sold or, you know, on Mexican food or stuff like that. But his food was bomb. I mean, some of the best tacos you ever. Burritos. He made these sandwiches here. And Moran's was in love with their sandwiches. I mean, the sandwiches were $9. The sandwiches would be like this big, like thick, like a thick sandwich. And it would be worth the $9. Mom, you gotta try this sandwich out. It's $9, but this thing is bomb. And I mean, it was worth $9. I mean, this thing would take up a plate or so. That's how big it was. I said he was leaving. Why are you leaving? And I noticed he was getting real distant with a lot of us vendors. He used to be a real friendly guy. It was a family business. It was him, his wife, the kids, I think the mother-in-law, and like the niece and so forth. They were all on this taco truck. Oh, the blush I'm using, this is from Beauty Blender. This is the Beauty Blender cream blush. But he was leaving. Why is he leaving the flea market? And then one day, he was gone. That man was gone. That man was gone. And it turned out he left because there was another taco truck that showed up. And the people that was running the flea market at the time weren't allowing the same people to run the food because it wouldn't be fair. And initially they were saying that no, it was the lady that was in the office that been in the office for a long time. The Mexican lady, she was the one that brought them there. Of course, I'm now realizing that's really wasn't the case. Yeah, you got to have friendly competition and so forth, and he didn't want that competition. Well, everybody got to have competition. That's what I was thinking. Say, you know, McDonald's has competition. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, so forth. So everybody has competition. Domino's, Pizza Hut. Everybody has competition. You know where I'm going with this. So I couldn't understand, like, okay, well, all right, well, we got a new taco truck out here. Now, I tried their food. Their new taco truck, I tried their food once. So if I'm telling you I only tried their food once, that's going to let you know how their food was. And good. So in place of the taco truck was the snowball stand. Now the snowball people have been out there, again, a long time. Also Mexican. They run it. My kids were kind of iffy on their snowballs because their snowballs, they said, wasn't that sweet. So I'm like, okay. And to me, it looked like they were sweet because they would put all this stuff on it, and I just wasn't feeling it. But these people was making a killing. Do you hear me? I mean lines, like long lines waiting on a snowball. So I didn't think anything of it. They just moved the snowball stand right next to the food court because where my booth was across from the food court. For highlighter, I am going to go in with the Makeup Revolution and the Plastic Boy highlighter. Y'all, this highlighter here is so pretty. I'm going to show you the highlighter. Look at how gold this highlighter is. This highlighter is so pretty, so gold, and you literally need a little bit of this highlighter. I've gone too far when I wore this for my other channel, and lordy, I really went crazy with this highlighter. I really did. Take a little bit of this highlighter. Oh, look at this highlighter. Look at that. Look at this highlighter. Y'all. And that right there, I didn't put too much. And I know I did too much. I did too much. But anyway, I'm kind of getting off this. This highlighter is, y'all, this highlighter is so pretty. It really is. You can't tell me this highlighter ain't pretty. It is so pretty. But anyway, after they left, I tried the other people's stuff, and they moved the people with the snowballs right next to me, and I thought, okay, it's good. Then all of a sudden, I had taken a week away from the flea market because I had some pop-up shops. Before I had known anything, they had moved the snowball people to the front, right by the taco truck that was also in the front, the other side. And I kind of went, well, that's odd. Why did they move? I said, okay, well, you know, same thing, like, okay, well, you know, I don't want it, you know, have a question or anything like that. And I didn't question it. I really didn't. For eyeshadow, I'm going in with the Plastic Boy and Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palette. This is the Forever Flawless eyeshadow palette, is what it calls it. This is what it looks like. Again, I've already worn this palette, and this is definitely brown girl friendly. He really did a good job at coming up with this color scheme. This is what the eyeshadow palette looks like. I still have the protective covering over it. I am, let's see, which shades am I going to go in with today? Let's see. You know, I'm going to try this shade here. We're going to go in with this shade here that's called Batty. I'm going to put that in my crease. Didn't think anything of it, whatever. I'm doing my thing. At this point, I had changed from going to the flea market from Saturdays to Sundays. And I changed from going from Saturdays to Sundays because my son plays football. And there were times where they were going to have practice on a Saturday, which was going to interfere with me going to the flea market on Saturdays. I've been doing the flea market on Saturdays for years. And I did not like going to the flea market on Sundays, because Sundays I dedicate that to church, as well as anytime I have a pop-up shop after church. I like to do those pop-up shops. So that's why I dedicated Sundays as my time not to go to the flea market. But being that my son was on a football team, and there were times they ended up having stuff going on a Saturday, I changed my flea market to Sunday. But it was understood, if I go to the flea market on a Sunday, it will be later when I go out there to set up, because I go to church. They had no problem with that. There's a reason why I'm telling you this portion as to why I left the flea market. So everything was fine. Everything was going just fine. They went ahead and changed my days to Sunday. Customers were beginning to find me on Sundays. I didn't like Sundays for also a reason, because I wasn't making a lot of money on Sundays. And a lot of the vendors said that was their better day, was a Sunday, because they got a lot of the people that came from church, and then they would go out to the flea market and spend money. What didn't happen for me. And then all of a sudden I did see where it did end up working out for me on a few Sundays. I made quite a bit of money, and it was fine. So that's what I did. And then there had been a few times, particularly for basketball season, same thing. Kept my days at the flea market on a Sunday. My son ended up having basketball games on Saturdays. That's why I ended up switching my days. It worked out. So yeah, so that's what happened. Everything was going fine. Everything was great. No problems. Then I saw they had hired another person in the office. Okay, cool. But you still have the original lady, the Latina lady was in there from the original crew that they fired, and they only kept her. Because a lot of customers that go out there to the flea market are mostly of Mexican descent, Latino. And they definitely 100% speak in Spanish. And you have a lot of vendors. They were starting to get more and more vendors that were speaking Spanish, more Latino. Okay. There's a reason why I'm saying that too. So anyway, everything was going fine. Going good. They hired a new lady, so forth. Introduced me to the new lady, so forth. She getting the ropes or whatever. The main person that was running the flea market began running that kitchen. And again, I thought, okay, well, she's running the kitchen. I mean, the food that they were cooking, the food was good and everything. Okay, they're making changes. Again, everything is going super fine. Everything is going good. Until March of this year, which was around the time my husband and I had gone to Las Vegas. And then in the midst of that, we were supposed to come back from Las Vegas, and I was going to my flea market booth. But that changed while we were in Vegas. We weren't in Vegas very long when we got the call that my mother-in-law had passed. So I'm not finding out I'm going out to eat later. You know what? I'm going to put the shade. Yeah. On my lid, I'm going to go ahead and put this shade here called Sissy. That's this shade, this shimmer right here. I'm going to put Sissy on my lid. So anyway, when my mother-in-law passed and we had to end up making an unexpected trip to Chicago, so I had already paid for my flea market booth for that Sunday. And I called them and let them know that, hey, I'm supposed to be out there at the flea market, but I can't. My mother-in-law just passed and we just made it to Chicago. So the lady that's been there a long time was telling, not that long time, the new lady was telling the other lady that had been there a long time. And she said, that's fine, Miss Venetia, we got you covered. We'll go ahead and put you down for next Sunday. I said, I should be out there next Sunday. I literally, we had just landed in Chicago. Again, we weren't expecting, you don't know when somebody's going to pass away. And that, it was unexpected. I mean, my mother-in-law had been sick, but she was doing just fine. We did not expect that to happen. Like, okay, wait a minute, you were just doing just fine. And now she did. But the flea market understood. It was fun. Y'all, when I got back from Chicago, mine is still reeling from my mother-in-law passing away and so forth. I went out there to the flea market. That Sunday, like I said. And all that was supposed to have happened was the money I had already paid for that day was supposed to have been shifted to the next week, which was the day I did come back. I was already paid for. Y'all, I should have known better. All of a sudden, out of the blue, I was told I had to pay my booth rent. I never paid it. And I'm going, well, what do you mean I never paid my booth rent? Yes, I did. What happened was I was supposed to be here on this last Sunday. Ended up not coming last Sunday because my mother-in-law had passed away and I had to fly to Chicago. I've been in Chicago and since then had planned my mother-in-law's funeral. We had the funeral and then had to fly back. I've only been home for a few days. So the money I paid for last Sunday was supposed to shift to this Sunday. They literally argued with me. We need to see your receipt. I said, okay, I'll go and get my receipt. I said, but it shouldn't have been no big deal. That lady was going to get me to pay twice. Because usually what happens is if you can't make it to your flea market booth. I have an outside booth. I've had the same outside booth for 5 years. You can't make it. You call them ahead of time and say, hey, this has happened, such and such, such and such. They move you. Okay, you know what? We're going to move you to this. We're going to make your spot be free. It's like a prepayment or a credit or whatever. And they just move it to when you come back. Never had a problem with this until that day. And the lady, the new lady that took over the flea market was literally trying to argue with me and said I owed an additional fee because I didn't pay. So basically what she was saying was she was trying to double my rent, what she was saying. And when the other lady that's been there a long time came in, she stepped in and said, no, Miss Venetia has already paid. She doesn't need to pay again. The lady was trying to argue with her and tell her, how did she pay? She pulled out the receipt and said, here it is right here. She was supposed to be here on this day. Her mother-in-law passed. She couldn't come on this day, so she came today, which was a week later. She had a kind of a look on her face, and the other lady, again, Latina, been there from the previous crew. She said, Miss Venetia, you're fine. Go on. I said, oh, okay. I said, I wasn't trying to cause any problems. She said, no. You haven't caused any problems. You're fine. It was a misunderstanding. Not realizing at the time with us having that kind of exchange, that was really the clock ticking for me to be gone from the flea market. Okay. From that incident on, I kind of noticed the lady that was running the flea market was kind of treating me a little differently and so forth. I kind of noticed it, but I ignored it. I ignored it. All of a sudden, again, I'm not out there. And I let them know whenever I'm not going to be out there. If I have a pop-up shop, I'm going out of town, whatever. And at that time, I was going out of town. We were going out of town. And I wasn't going to be out there. But I was also, while I was out of town, trying to promote my business, trying to promote VAM Cosmetics as well. I kid y'all not. I came back. That lady that had been there a long time, that was part of the other crew, she was gone. And on top of her being gone, the new lady that they hired wasn't putting up with it. She quit. So there was nobody in that office. Y'all, when I found out she was gone, I knew, okay, my time at the flea market is about to start coming to an end. I need to go ahead and prepare for me not being at the flea market. And that's what I did. I prepared myself for not being at the flea market. For setting spray, I am going in with the Makeup Revolution Matte Fix Oil Control setting spray. So I am going to go in with that. My time is coming to an end. And I just started noticing some things wasn't jigging. It just wasn't. It's almost like I was on pins and needles with this lady. Then I get my days mixed up for pop-up shops because I like to leave my Sundays open for the flea market. And I thought this pop-up shop was on a Saturday. Instead, it was on a Sunday. So I told them, hey, I mixed up my days. I thought the pop-up shop was on a Saturday. It's on a Sunday, so I won't be here that Sunday. She said, okay, that's fine. I came back. Now, didn't I tell y'all? I did not like going to the flea market on Sundays because I saved my time. On Sundays, I like to go to church. But I changed it because of my son. And one of the vendors said, be careful about what time you get here at this flea market. Why? She said, the lady is getting upset with vendors showing up late at the flea market. And I said, what do you mean get upset? I said, well, me and them, we have an understanding. On Sundays, I get here after church. So I go to church first, then I'm coming out here to the flea market. Okay. So I remember when I paid my rent for the next week, I asked that lady, oh, no, Miss Venetia, you're good. You're good. We know you go to church first, and then you come out here. You're good. I said, okay. This is what the flea market don't know, and if they do watch this video, oh, the fuck will. Sorry for my language. I started to test them. What I would do is, at this point, I would have changed churches. I had been going to this one church for a long time. I switched churches. Where this church is, my new church, literally is not that far from the flea market. Like, literally, boom, boom, I'm at the flea market. It's right there. Church services start at 10:30. Flea market opens at 9. When I would leave church, I would go straight to the flea market. Didn't have that problem when the other crew was there. I would go to the 9 o'clock service. Service would end about 10:30, 11 o'clock. So I would get out there about 11:30. Service is from 10:30 to 11:30. And I would get out there. Didn't take me long. I would get out there, like service be over with like 11:30, 11:40. I was out there before 12 o'clock. And I would be out there for 4.5, 5 hours. It was not a problem. For mascara, I'm retrying the Lancome E-Doll mascara. So I am going to put on Lancome. So yeah, I went. The girl was saying, yeah, she's having a problem with people showing up late. The lady said, no, you're good, you're good, you're good. Okay. So I started to notice. After that, vendors were beginning to leave in droves. And it just so happened the vendors that were beginning to leave were the vendors of color. I noticed it. So that was, to me, kind of like another sign. My time at the flea market is going to be coming to an end. Okay. Then all these rules began to come into play about if you have an outdoor booth, you need to have a mesh like closing so it makes the flea market looks better. Okay. Never had that issue. Let me explain that. My booth is an outside booth. The flea market is an outside flea market. Like literally everything's outside. If you get an inside booth, the requirement is you have to be there every Saturday and Sunday. And the rules for you are completely different than those like us, like me, that have an outside booth. I preferred an outside booth because you have more flexibility. As opposed to an inside booth, you don't have that kind of flexibility. It's like you're locked into a lease agreement contract. As per with an outside booth, you're not locked into a contract at all. It's just, you know, you become a regular of that booth. It's yours. So anyway, I began to notice people were leaving in droves. And it was vendors of color. And ever since the other lady who was Latino in the office left, I noticed the increase of black and brown vendors being harassed, and I noticed them leaving. And I'm later finding out they're leaving and so forth, because the white vendors were saying that they weren't making any money because of us brown skin and darker skin vendors. We're showing up late, we're doing this, we're doing that. When in actuality, it's not us. So afterwards, I continued to notice more and more stuff going on. Let's see what my husband says. I began, I was still, same old, not changing anything, but I did begin to test them. And a few times I tested them by just not going to church, but I would still go out there to the flea market at my regular time when the service is over with. I didn't hear anything, nothing whatsoever. So I said, okay, I'm going back to church. So I did, went back to church. Went back. Kid you not. One of the vendors one day said, came to me. I had just pulled up, just set up. And like I had literally had only been sitting down for like 5 or 10 minutes. I had left church. She comes out there and she said, hey girl, what time did you get here? Why are you worried about what time I got here? Because to me, it's like, it's none of your business. I know the type of vendor you are. You're a troublemaker. And I didn't like dealing with the troublemaker. My lip pencil, I'm using the Plastic Boy X Revolution, Mega Revolution pencil, lip pencil. This lip pencil is kind of rough. I'm already having to sharpen it. It's already going down, so I'm going to have to sharpen this one. It's a little, I think this is the one product I didn't really like from the collab. So when she said, well, what time did you show up? Like, why are you worried about what time I showed up? She said, girl, they're going around with the pad and the pen and paper collecting $10 late fees. $10 late fees? What do you mean a $10 late fee? If you're not here and set up for 9 o'clock, it's a $10 late fee. What? Now, mind you, we've had this understanding. If I come on Sundays, I'm going to get out here later because I go to church first. Then I come out here to the flea market. If several vendors, that's what they did. They go to church first, and after church, they come to the flea market. All of them had that agreement. They were fine with it. Those vendors I noticed were the vendors that were leaving in droves, were the ones that were going to church first. I said, oh, okay. I'm not going to believe everything you say because I know you're a troublemaker. So I'm not going to believe everything you say. I'm going to wait till it's time for me to leave. I want to talk to the office. And just so happened, the ladies were walking around, y'all, with their pad, pen, paper, receipt paper, the money bag. Baby, they was collecting $10 late fees. So I asked her, asked one of the ladies, I said, are y'all collecting $10 late fees? She said, yeah. She said, even for the people that go to church first and then we come out here and it's understood, we still have to pay $10. She said, yes, ma'am, you have to pay $10. I said, oh, okay. Thanks. I text my husband and I text my kids and I told them, oh, today my last day at the flea market. I'm going to end with the lip gloss, the Makeup Revolution X, the Plastic Boy lip gloss. Oh, this smells so chocolate. It smells like chocolate. Oh, it smells like chocolate. And look, y'all, I love this gloss. Perfect. Like I said, I'm not picky about the lip pencil, but everything else is awesome. He does have a lipstick. I'm not going to do the lipstick today. This is the lipstick, part of the lip kit. What shade is this? I'm not sure. I think this is what the shade is, if y'all can see it, because y'all know my eyes are bad. But this is the collab, the Makeup Revolution X, the Plastic Boy collab, the lipstick. This is what the lipstick looks like. This is a very pretty brown shade. Oh, I love this lip gloss. And the lipstick is so pretty, y'all. It's so pretty. But anyway, text my husband and my kids, told them today was my last day at the flea market. I'm not coming back. Told the ladies, whoever gets this spot, they can have it. Today's my last day at the flea market. I'm not paying no $10. We've had an understanding. Church is extremely important to me. Church is extremely important to me. Praying and making sure that I am praying to God and so forth, that is very important to me. Y'all, I was packing up. Here come the lady that runs the flea market. She comes to me. Let's talk. Okay. Babe, I was going to hear her out. This lady was talking out of both sides of her neck. No. You're fine. I'm not charging you a $10 late fee. But I have these vendors that tend to be constantly late, and I have to enclose a $10 late fee. And I said, well, I'm one of those vendors that do come late, but I go to church. And they, no, I'm saying you're fine. But the rule is you have to be here for 9 o'clock. You have to be set up for 9 o'clock. And I kept looking at her and I said, but ma'am, my church doesn't start till 10:30. And when I get done with church, I said, church is only for an hour. And when I get done with church, I come out here. I said, this has always been the thing, that if I come on Sundays, I'm allowed to go to church first, and then I come out here later. No, you good. But, you know, people make excuses, and they end up not going to church. They just lie. The setup time is 9 o'clock. And she kept emphasizing that to me, but the setup time is 9 o'clock. I said, oh, okay. And then that's when I said, okay, I understand that. Oh, but you're good, you know, you come, you know, whenever you get done with church. But, you know, I just have those vendors that tend to lie. I have this one vendor, she comes out here, she's always late, I always have to charge her a $10 late fee. And she tells me, well, she has a storefront, and she opens her storefront first before she comes out here. And I kind of went, okay, so her storefront must be opening at 8, 9 o'clock, and you're still going to charge her late fee. But she never had that problem before until you got here. Okay. She still kept emphasizing, you're good. I'm not charging you a $10 late fee. However, your setup is 9 o'clock. So what I got was, I'm going to let you slide with this late a little while longer. I'm going to start charging you $10. Mind you, I'm already paying you rent every week. And I don't pay you rent when I'm not out there. But I let you know when I'm going to be back out there, and I'm paying ahead of time. Again, a very faithful vendor. I've been out there for 5 years. Never had a problem. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to be out here next weekend, because I have 2 pop-up shops. And I said, oh, yeah, you're good. Well, we're going to see you the following week, which was actually the past weekend. And when she left, I packed up, went on my TikTok, told everybody on my TikTok, today's my last day at the flea market. I'm not going back. My website is still open. I'm doing pop-up shops. I kid you not, y'all. I kid you not. I did 2 pop-up shops because the next weekend was Southern University's homecoming weekend. And I did 2 pop-up shops for Southern University. I kid you not. For both vendor fees, my vendor fee for both days was $100 a piece. Now, you want to tell me why I was $34 off for making $300? And I sold out quite a bit of stuff. And I went, wait, what? Usually at pop-up shops, it's a hit or miss. But anything going on at Southern University, I do pretty doggone good. I made a lot of money. All of a sudden, these people are starting to reach out to me. Pop-up shop, pop-up shop, pop-up shop, pop-up shop. So I am doing pop-up shops now. I have a pop-up shop this Saturday in Alexandria, Louisiana. And then I'm coming back to Baton Rouge. And I have a pop-up shop this Sunday. And then I'm lined up for another pop-up shop. Like, I'm literally, the month of November and December are booked for me with pop-up shops. January is open, and I am doing a pop-up shop in February. I'm trying to get January and February booked up, but January may be Mississippi. I am doing one December 3rd in Mississippi. So I'm really expanding, and this is all in God's timing. So that's why I left the flea market. You're not going to talk out of both sides of your neck when it comes to me and my business. You're just not going to do it. You're not going to do it. So yeah, so I left the flea market. I'm not out there anymore. I am doing pop-up shops now. My website is still open, vampcosmetics.com. I always put vampcosmetics.com in the bottom of the description box. Our prices do range from $5 to $12. So if you wonder, like, man, you're not really making no money. I have very limited supply of products, and it's kind of hard to get products and so forth. And when I talk to my manager and deal with the lab, you know, they're having backups as well because of demand. And when I tell you God has been so faithful and so good since I left the flea market, let me tell you, God has been so faithful and so good to me. And I love it. I absolutely 100% love it. Totally love it. So yeah, that's what's going on. That's why I wanted to do this chit chat, get ready with me. So if people have been following me here on YouTube and y'all been looking for me at the flea market, and I have been getting a lot of messages since I left the flea market. Where are you? I'm looking for you. Where are you? People have been bombarding me with, where are you? Why are you not at the flea market? This is the reason why I'm not at the flea market. I just was not into the tit for tat. You talking out both sides of your neck. You obviously have a race problem with people, with brown and black people. You have a problem with that. The vendors you are picking on are of Latino and black. Those are who you're having a problem with. The white vendors are just getting away with everything. And you're just listening to more of the white vendors. And you're wondering why your flea market is in the dumps. This is why. And I still continue to be out there for my customers. That is the reason why I stayed out there. It's because of my customers. My regular customers find me out there all the time. But I'm not out there anymore. I do apologize if you've been looking for me at the flea market. I do apologize. But I just was not up for the tit for tat. And God is very, very important to me. It's always been important to me to go to church. That is number one in my life, is God. And if it wasn't for me making this move, I would not be getting the offers that I am getting right now to do pop-up shops and so forth. And I'm going out of town doing pop-up shops, and it's really, really been beneficial for me. So yeah, so if you've been looking for me, my website, you can reach out to me on Instagram. My DMs are full, y'all. My DMs are real full. Why you not at the flea market? That is why. So yeah, you can still find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. Find me on my website. And I am still doing pop-up shops. My pop-up shops have really been picking up. So yeah, if you've been looking for me, that's where I've been. So I want to thank you guys for listening to me talk and explaining myself, for those that have been looking for me as to why I'm not at the flea market. So thank you so much for listening to me. So yeah, you're going to be keeping up with me on Instagram and on TikTok, and of course on my website as well. Still will be putting new product alerts, restock alerts on my Instagram like I always do, but I also do it on TikTok as well. When I do pop-up shops, I put it mainly on TikTok, and then it goes on Instagram. So just keep up with me with that. If you need a product or anything, or you need to ask about a product, if I'm going to restock on a product, I am still answering my DMs. I'm still on Instagram. You can email me and so forth. It is perfectly fine. The prices are not going to change or anything like that. I'm just not at the flea market. Same with VAM Clothing Boutique. My clothing boutique, wherever I go with VAM Cosmetics, you know, the VAM Clothing Boutique is coming with me as well. So I have been selling out of some earrings. And I have some other products I'm really low on for VAM Clothing Boutique. So just be patient with me as I have continued to make this transition from no longer being at the flea market to just doing pop-up shops. So please bear with me. So thank you so much for listening to me. With that being said, this is Venetia Alexander Marshall. I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.